We've had a pretty big roadmap update for Star Citizen, mainly focusing on features being added to the next major patch update, Alpha 3.15, the Q3 or CitizenCon 2021 patch. But we are also seeing a few features added to the roadmap beyond that, 3 of which I'll mention now: the Genesis Starliner passenger transport ship, the giant RSI Orion strip miner, and the RSI Lynx rover. They're all planned to receive work in Q2 2022, although I couldn't actually find the Lynx rover on the roadmap. It is mentioned that it is being worked on, and it's supposed to be there, but it's not for some reason. We know that this is just some concept work for the Genesis and Orion. However, it is a start, and it does mean that those ships are going to start to get work, and that's quite exciting. And that poses an interesting question. What if NordVPN made a ship in Star Citizen? That would be a pretty good ship, and I think that it's much more likely that they would make a ship if you clicked on the links for NordVPN down below. Let's jump into some of the changes for the Q3 2021 patch, this 3.15 alpha. So we've got New Babbage Hospital, the implementation of a working hospital located in New Babbage. So at the moment, you sort of like have the hospital carved out somewhat, but you don't have the fully working hospital there. Players will be able to be healed and revived there, as well as purchase medical supplies and life insurance. There's also the same for Horizon, the Horizon Hospital, which is also in the same boat, but at Horizon. Go there, do the same thing. Rest stops, station clinics. So they want to have these sort of like smaller space station clinics and mini hospitals, where you can do the same sort of stuff but at a smaller scale. Grim Hex, that's getting its own clinic as well. There's the Tier 0 of loot generation. Now this is actually relatively exciting for me, because I think it adds a huge sort of part of the game. It's a huge gameplay loop, it's fun. They are implementing the systems that generate loot containers throughout the persistent universe, crates, boxes, lockers, and that's going to contain dynamically populated loots. So there are going to be reasons to go to certain places and do certain missions and grind areas, and you go, oh, I found something exciting. Asset Manager Mobiglass app is also here. So in support of localized inventories, the Asset Manager keeps track of all player-owned items, where they're stored, where they need to go to pick those up, transfer them and equip them. Yeah, so obviously we know we're getting the local inventory sort of expanding out in 3.15, and that is super important. I do see it akin to Eve's Asset Manager, just showing you where all your stuff is. There's the physical and local inventory support. So adjusting shops and the Vehicle Manager app to support the required API changes for players' local and physical inventories. Some of the transaction codes will also need to be refactored, and several additional debugging options are being added so that they can identify problems and resolve bugs faster. The VMA will be updated so that a player can only adjust their ship's loadout if they are in the location where their ship currently is stored, and other ship-related items that they're trying to, add to it as stored. Infiltrate and defend missions. So underground facilities are the first places to benefit from the addition of spawn closets, which allow them to expand out the suite of missions taking place there. Missions range from all-out assaults to situations where you may be able to complete objectives without needing to engage in combat at all, and include both lawful and unlawful versions of that mission. So espionage type missions, or sneaky missions, and proper assault missions. I'm hoping there are, as the name suggests, defend missions here as well. I love the idea of holding, just for as long as you can, a underground facility and getting paid the longer you hold it. That would be great. They are updating the Broken Moon map. So Arena Commander getting some updates. They're increasing the overall size of the map, adding new playable areas, more cover options, and new space assets. And we do know that there is going to be some general updates to Arena Commander as well. Shops and patrons are being vastly expanded so that they can interact with usables, and that's going to be across a variety of patrons and shops. They are going to be populating dozens of shops with vendor behavior, previously seen from the bartender, but obviously more appropriate for any given shop. And this is going to include the coffee stand, pizza bar, kiosks, and more. We've got, obviously, AI behaviors for doctors and nurses, because, you can't have clinics and hospitals without doctors and nurses. Well, you can. We don't. When the player respawns in a medical bed, they will be greeted by a doctor with a dialogue, and a nurse can be seen in the background interacting with various medical-themed usables, the medical tray, the IV drip, and inspecting the medicine cabinets. This will add life and movement to a patient's room when they awake. Injured players that enter the room will also be greeted by the doctor and encouraged to heal themselves in the medical bed. Orion is getting more updates. They're getting version 2 of Orion out. This includes various updated areas around Orion, so expect things like the showroom and the hospital, as we previously stated. They're just sort of updating the zone, giving it more functionality, and it's been moved up, so it's planned for here rather than the Q4 release. It's in the Q3 release. That's pretty cool. Ship interior OC streaming, though, has been moved off of 3.15 due to other core tech tasks taking a higher priority. There are some other changes to a couple of the patches. So 3.16, which is the Q4 patch, the Area 18 hospital, so same as we talked about the other hospitals, but for Area 18 at ArcCorp. And then we also have for 3.17, the Q1 2022 patch, the Lawful Hospital, Maria Pure of Heart. Again, same thing. Hospital at that zone. They are also planning to add a column for the Alpha 3.18 or the Q2 2022 patch very soon. So expect that within the next month is my expectation there. There are still a lot more changes on the roadmap though, this time from the progress tracker. So these are features like the ships that we mentioned earlier that don't have a patch that they belong to yet. They are receiving work. Cloud Imperium is saying, look, we're working on them. This is when we plan to work on them. And for all of the things we're about to mention, these are features that are planned to work on or have their work completed on them, at least the planned work, in late Q2 or early Q3 2022. That does not mean the feature is complete by any means. That does mean that the work that they currently have planned will be planned to be completed for them, if you see what I mean. But it could be a load more work that needs to go into the feature before it's done. It could be that they're going to put it straight into a patch straight afterwards. It could be that they get subsumed into the Q3 2022 patch. So we'll have to wait and see, I suppose. Or even the Q2 one. Targeting V2. The expansion of targeting systems to support missiles with improved management for targets for both the pilot and the crew of the ship. Basically, better multi-crew, better targeting. Lots of different types of ammunition are also getting worked on. Plasma ammunition causing damage over time, and larger versions of the weapon leaving an AoE, so like area effect, where that's will be a bit of a hazard. There's incendiary ammunition that will burn on impact, causing a damage over time as well, and potentially causing fires. Quite similar to plasma, but obviously fires can spread in a different way. There's disarray ammo as well, a ballistic projectile that emits electromagnetic pulses, helping to not only damage a target, but also disrupt power systems. Now, I'm expecting to see these ammo types for FPS weapons as well as ships. There's space mines as well. In space, players in certain ships will gain the ability to release different types of space mine in a coordinated fashion in an attempt to trap, damage, and capture enemies, or set up defensive perimeters. We've seen some magnetic exploding mines and some more turret type mines as well previously, but I would expect more. There's planned work for aerodynamic control surfaces, so ships with control surfaces will be able to use them in atmospheres to aid their maneuverability. This will allow for improved performance from ships that have weak maneuvering thrusters in atmosphere and bring new depth to aerodynamic flight in game. So this is obviously a big step towards that more aerodynamic flight model and is an important step for that. Dynamic population was re-added to the progress tracker here as well, so this is super important for the universe sim side of the games, having appropriate dynamic populations in the area that can be physicalized. Cool. Ladders and actor status updates are also returning after previously being moved off the roadmap. The following features as well have moved off, been delayed, or they'll be rescheduled, so we'll see them again in the future on the progress tracker. But currently, cutting tier 2, charge and drain tier 0, ground vehicles version 2, the Acaro cluster area, the ground scramble races, reputation gates for missions, which is very disappointing because I desperately wanted to see that, and the counterfeiting and data download missions. So they've been pushed off the roadmap for the time being, but should return soonish. There's also some changes to Cloud Imperium's team structure. So to focus more on specific types of mission and location content, they've got more of a focused sort of strike team. They're adding the mission design team. This will, with the additional support of the AI content team, be working together with level design and art to bring spaces to life with moment-to-moment gameplay. So this means that the live mission content team is no longer its own team and instead integrated into the locations team, including their deliverables. The live mission content team's data will now end in Q3 2021 on the roadmap, but will be maintained on the roadmap as a reference. So sort of bear that in mind. Some of the other teams got a bit better naming scheme as well. So rather than the LZ1 content team, we have the EU landing zone team. Instead of the MTL modular, we have MTL Sandbox 1. Modular have been renamed to EU Sandbox 1, and there's going to be an EU Sandbox 2 team soon. I am very much liking the additions to Star Citizen Alpha 3.15. Now, is some stuff going to get moved off of that 3.15 patch? Probably. Hopefully not very much, though. Let's see what happens. Obviously, they are working towards CitizenCon now as well, and that can cause some changes in scheduling for sure. But in a few weeks' time, we'll look at 3.15 as a patch in a bit more detail, what we're expecting to see, what's most likely to get pushed off if it is going to get pushed off, all that sort of jazz. But I hope you enjoyed that roadmap update. If you have any questions about the roadmap, about Star Citizen, please ask in the comments below. And are you excited by the thought of loads of hospitals being put in the game? Or are you like, meh, actually, I need more gameplay loops. Give me more gameplay loops. And are you excited to see those new ships get worked on? I say new ships, those old ships. I mean, come on. The Orion and the Genesis Starliner, that's pretty cool. Like, I'm genuinely super excited to see them on the roadmap. Are you excited for loot generation tier 0 for 3.15? And the asset manager and that sort of new local inventory system that's coming with it. What about the new mission types with infiltrate and defend missions? Do you think they're going to be quite shallow, or do you think they'll actually add a lot to the game? And I am very much looking forward to whenever Jumptown version 2 appears, which Cloud Imperium are going to be talking about very soon. But whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below.
Mummy, I'm going to play Star Citizen when I get home. Well, little Timmy, you can't because hackers stole our house.
This is a story I hear only too often. It was just one day before these two were going to get NordVPN. Now they have to live on the streets. Don't let that be you. Get NordVPN in the links below. Every month we have a ship giveaway. For August, we are giving away a Mercury Star Runner, the fantastic multi-crew hauler data mission runner, allowing you to do a little bit of everything the Star Citizen has to offer. To be in for a chance of winning that, comment on any of my videos made during the month. More details in the links below. If you'd like to further support the channel, consider becoming a channel member. The join button down below, you'll get some exclusive videos and content each month, and it really does help us keep going. There is also the new thanks button under my videos for another way of throwing money at us. Both me and Zin appreciate all the support for the channel. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the verse.